These are the spiritual leaders of the United States Army, ordinary Americans who have answered our nation's extraordinary call to nurture the living, care for the wounded, and honor the fallen.
When you see your chaplain on the battlefield, it is like a moment of home that nobody else can recreate.
They are rabbis, ministers, imams, and priests who serve our nation's heroes and their families as committed members of the United States Army.
In the crucible of war, often it's the spiritual strength that a soldier has, is their belief and faith in God that will get them through the most difficult times.
Chaplains have served with distinction in every engagement, adhering to the 7 Army values of loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage.
Working for God, you need to take the example of other godly people who've gone before you.
From the battles of Lexington and Concord to Fallujah and Kandahar, chaplains have been an integral part of Army history and remain vital to its future. Whether leading worship, visiting the hospital, or counseling soldiers and their families, Army chaplains are always at the front line of the soldier's life.
I just really gained an appreciation for the soldiers that serve us and put their lives in danger every day so that we can live in the freedom that we do. And this was an opportunity for me to be able to give something back and something a little bit different.
We have a thing we call Ministry of Presence, and it's getting out of the chapel, it's getting out of the staff office and going and being with the soldiers, because you're there with them when they have those questions, when they're feeling down. And I've had my most profound ministry experiences just as I've gone out to my guys and to my soldiers to share some truth with them, to remind them that God is present, to remind them that they are spiritual in nature and they can grow in that.
They're out there contributing to the Army's mission, contributing to soldiers and their lives and their happiness, and definitely taking care of the families in a way that adds to everything that the Army's trying to achieve.
U.S. Army chaplains serve both God and country by bringing their unique gifts to the soldiers of our nation. Qualified and sent by their religious bodies, trained by the U.S. Army, and led by the God they serve, Army chaplains provide dynamic and influential spiritual leadership.
The whole concept of chaplain ministry is that you're working outside of the realm of regular parish work, and you are where they are. And to sit down with them and help them get some of the puzzle pieces of their life put together is very rewarding.
Chaplains are the Army spiritual leaders. They are men and women who have been sent by their churches, synagogues, mosques, and temples to walk alongside soldiers and family members of all faiths.
It's really more one-on-one, getting out there, talking with soldiers, seeing what their problems are, and basically getting them to open up and share with you what their innermost thoughts are, and let them know your ear there to listen, and then you have a word of encouragement to help them get through the day.
The best case scenario in service in the Chaplain Corps is when people know your name because they trust you for the work that you have done with them, and that whether in good times or bad times, if they need you, they know who you are and they know where to find you.
Whether at home or abroad, whether in times of peace or times of turmoil, chaplains are present as constant symbols of spiritual comfort and sustained hope.
I'm much more dedicated, much more in touch and tune with myself, my role as a non-commissioned officer, and also with my role, to my family as a father, as a husband, and to be able to do that well. It's been a direct result of the mentorship and leadership through chaplains.
We really get to live with the families and go through what they go through, and it makes the experience and the ministry so much more real.
But it's not an easy job. It takes, I think, a strong backbone. What God is calling these kind of ministers into the military right now to help soldiers and their families.
The chaplains that we've met have just really been a part of our lives and stayed with us and encouraged us and kept the hope going. That to me has been a chaplain being a chaplain and actually living and walking out everything that I think the Chaplain Corps asks for them to be.
The United States Army Chaplain Corps will be there, in any mission, in any place, to all faiths, and at any cost.
I feel like this is an important time in history for chaplains, and we need to be on our A game. Not only need to understand the military culture, the Army culture, but also be godly spiritual men and women that are called.
I am just hoping to be able to serve our soldiers as best I can, within my faith, and even, everybody else who's not within my faith.
The U.S. Army Chaplaincy assists in ensuring the right of the free exercise of religion for all soldiers.
Soldiers have the same constitutional rights that every other American citizen has, and in order to protect those, we're going to make sure the chaplains are there.
You walk up a mountain in war with a soldier, and they know you're on their side. When they know you're on their side, whether they believe or not, they know that God is with them.
The U.S. Army Chaplain Corps, spiritual leadership for the Army family.